So in section 4.4, applications of rational equations. So for all of these problems, it says solve the following application problems involving rational equations. So this first one says the property tax on a $160,000 house is $1,492. At this rate, what is the property tax on a house that is $240,000? So we need to figure out the rate, or we can just set up a proportion. And so if we have 1492 would be the property tax. I'm just going to set property tax for a $160,000 house. And we want it's the same rate for a $240,000 house. We're going to put 240 down here on the bottom because that's the cost of the house, and the cost of the house goes in the denominator. So this would be 240,000. We do not know how much the taxes will be for this house, so I'm going to put an X there, and we will cross multiply. So when we cross multiply, we are going to multiply 1,492 times 240,000, and we're going to get a huge number. You probably will just use your calculator. You probably won't even write this down. But 35808,000 equals, and then we cross multiply again, which is 160,000 x. We divide by 160,000, and we are left with x equals 2238. So the property tax, oops, on a house that costs, I guess I'll put the property tax on a house that cost $240,000 is $2,238. All right, the next question says the ratio of men to women. So I'm going to take men to women in a math course to train elementary school teachers is 1 to 5. So 1 man to 5 women. If the total enrollment in the class is approximately 192 per semester, how many men are enrolled? You could set up some kind of proportion, but honestly, okay, I guess let's do that. So we want to take min out of total. So it does say 1/5 here for our ratio, but it's not asking men to women. It's saying if the total enrollment is 192, how many are men? And so here for the total, we're going to have 192, and we're trying to find how many men there are. And so when we set this equal, we're going to have one man for total, which would be 6. So here we have a 5 because we are only thinking about women, but here we have a 6 because we're thinking about total. And if we added these up, there'd be 6 total students. Let me back that up. We need to solve this by cross multiplying. So I'm going to have x times 6 is 6x. 192 times 1 is 192. Divide by 6, and I get x is equal to 32. So there are 32 men enrolled. This one's tricky because it's asking about total, and you're going to want to set it up as women like I did, but we need to think about it as total, which would be 6. All right, triangle ABC is similar to triangle TRS. Find the length of the missing side. So this right here is what we are looking for. And if we compare it to, so A, B, C is the order they give us for the first one. So A, B, C, T, S, R. So they are set up the same way. Okay, so when we're comparing, I'm gonna make this side pink as well, so we can kind of see which ones go together. And then let's make this side orange so we can see. Okay, so I'm gonna have, let's do our ABC on top. to our TSR on bottom. So on the ABC triangle, I'm going to have, let's do the orange first, 9 over 15 on the TSR equals, and then I'm going to use pink. On the ABC, we have 18 over. On the TSR, we don't know this length, so we're going to put x. From here, we're going to cross multiply, and we're going to have 9x is equal to 15 times 18, which is 270. Divide by 9, and we get x is equal to 30. So this missing length right here is 30. Karen can wax her SUV in 5 hours. So I'm going to put Karen, 5 hours. And that's a rate. It's a 5 hours per SUV. I know that sounds kind of weird to say that. And then Claren can wax the same SUV in 8 hours. So 8 hours for her for the same SUV. If they work together, how long will it take them to wax the SUV? So we want to add the rates together, and that'll be the total work. So if we think about Karen's speed, and we're going to add that to Claren's speed, and that's going to equal the speed working together. Okay. So for Karen's speed, we have one SUV takes her 5 hours, plus Clarence is one SUV, takes her 8 hours. And for this last one, we have this one SUV, and we don't know how many hours. Okay, so our equation is going to be 1/5 plus 1/8 is equal to 1 over x. And we're going to solve this equation. So I'm going to multiply everything by 40x to get rid of the denominator. So that would leave me with, I'm running out of space, so I'll write small. 40 over 5x plus 40 over 8x is equal to 40x over x. I'm going to move over here. That gives me 8x plus 5x is equal to 40. 13x is equal to 40. Divide by 13. And I get x is equal to 40 divided by 13, which doesn't reduce, but since we're talking about time, we can go ahead and put a decimal, which would be 3.077 hours. Would be what would go here, which if you think about in the context of the problem, that would be how long it would take them to do a combined one SUV. Okay, a student measures 7 feet tall. Wow, that's a tall student. A student measures 7 feet tall, measures the length of the shadow of the Washington Monument to be 365 feet. At the same time, her shadow is 5 feet. Approximate the height of the Washington Monument. So we're going to have object to shadow ratio. Okay, so for the student, the object, it would be the object here, so that would be 7 feet for the student over the student's shadow was 5 feet equals, for the Washington Monument, we know the shadow is 365 feet. We do not know how tall the Washington Monument is. We're going to use this proportion to predict that. So I'm going to cross multiply. 7 times 365 is 2,555 feet. And then we have equals 5x. I'm going to take off this feet so we're not confused. I'm going to divide by 5, and that leaves me with 511. So what that means is the Washington Monument is approximately 511 feet tall.